Here comes your pre-market summary for Tuesday, June 6. Futures pretty flat to start on morning, coming off of what we saw yesterday. Wild afternoon for not only Apple shares, but a few other stocks coming off of Apple's WWDC event. Day number one. It's day two coming up this morning. No live stream today, however, but we will keep an eye on any comments coming from the company's presentation on day two. That's how things are setting up right now. S&P downside to the tune of 0.06%, 0.1 for the Dow, 0.02, basically flat right now for the NASDAQ and tech in general. Back downside again this morning for crude oil, 2.4%, 0.2 for Bitcoin, same story for Ethereum, basically flat overall to start. That's how things ended up yesterday. A bit of a red candle there for not only the S&P, but the NASDAQ. Did close positive on the day, but gave back a lot late in the session, back to basically flat on the session overall. A little bit of more economic data to come later in the week, but as far as the market's concerned, a lot of people waiting for what's to come next week, obviously with the Fed and, remember, CPI coming up on Tuesday next week. A number of analyst moves this morning on Apple shares. There's a few downside, there's a few to the upside, including Needham, with a positive note on Apple this morning. They actually said, yeah, they should buy Disney. I don't know if Apple wants to get into the cruise or park business, but we'll talk about that coming up this morning. AMD back to the upside this morning as well. Not one, but two positive notes, including one from Piper Sandler. They raised their price target on AMD shares. Interesting note from S3 Partners we'll talk a little bit about as well. When it comes to the short side of the semiconductor area in the market, yeah, they're down 18 billion year to date, obviously with the move that we've had in semis to the upside, but they're essentially saying they start to cover, we might see more upside. Apple, meanwhile, as I said, trying to boost both Disney and Unity to the upside this morning as well. Nice look after that huge move yesterday on that integration with the new Vision Pro. Palantir shares, yet another positive note here. They're going to put their foundry and manufacturing services on AWS. So Palantir upside about 7% last I checked here in the pre-market. GTLB earnings come through for GitLab, better than expected. Looks great, up double-digit percentage right now. Intel, meanwhile, they're going to sell $1.5 billion stake or worth of their stake in Mobileye. So Mobileye down about 5.5%. Grab the watch list, guys. Use that QR code. Bottom right corner. Pretty light when it comes to the economic calendar this morning. No real significant Fed speak that I can see at this point, but it doesn't mean they won't come through. We'll touch more on that coming up. We'll see you shortly on TraderTV.Live.